Welcome back to this week's show, episode 5. I just wanted to thank you all really quick before we start. The fact that you've been listening to us play this game for now 5 episodes is just still insane to us. Thank you, and welcome to Dive Cloud. Welcome back, everyone, to Dive Cloud, a tabletop podcast.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. So here we go. I'm going to start with a little cutscene.
Do you want to introduce yourselves first?
Probably.
Yeah.
That'd probably be good. I am Cole Luther. I will be your DM for today.
I'm Mike Lema. I play Whispers at Sunset.
I'm Brandon Korth, playing Yang Evenway.
I'm Weston Lema. I'm playing Darius Smoke Brewer.
And I'm Jennifer Collins, and I'm playing Shava the Maxic.
All right. We see a woman clutching her face, familiar white hair, matted and frizzled as she grits her teeth. Those fools, she grumbles under her breath, and as we look over her shoulder, we see the body of Andy, pale dead eyes staring aimlessly. This only makes my job harder. Strings flow from her fingertips towards the lifeless corpse, and we hear the scream of a mechanical elk in the background.
Oh,
No!
To recap, you all were talking with Andy, who came to you with a deal to try and enlist you in some kind of resistance movement against the city of Aether, at which point you declined his generous offer.
So for it.
And he then threatened you, and you began to fight. It ended in him going unconscious, and Lady Avidica came in on her magic wagon and also tried to make a deal with you. You were having none of it, and you killed Andy. I believe Whispers dealt the final blow. She fled, but not before Shava managed to use some sleight of hand to take out the eye, with some real good rolls, take out the eye of Avidica, and she made her escape, almost honestly captured by Whispers in the process, but she managed to get off the spell, and
someone ate the eye too.
I don't know
who it was, but someone did.
Someone did that.
There's a random bear that just showed up and just ate this eye.
You then, after this, made your way into the town of Wellrose, a small community with a large well in the center of it. You were approached by the mayor of the town, Jenna, who offered the possibility of a reward should you deliver a letter. The road forward, actually, to Aether is blocked off by a vicious owlbear. And then there's an offshooting road that takes you to a place called Gravestone. Where we left off, there was a vicious-looking owlbear, its beak open and screeching, spittle flying towards you as it took on a defensive posture, its feathers ruffling up into the air. What would you all like to do?
Prepare yourselves for battle. This beast will not be tamed.
Well, I don't think we have much of a choice in this then. I'm going to immediately run back 30 feet.
Shava begins running backwards. I need Yang and Whispers to make nature checks for me.
7.
6.
Wow.
Wow.
It is really angry. But you are also noticing that it is not charging at you. It seems to be taking on a defensive posture, not seeming to want you to get any closer.
Maybe it was injured?
I don't know. It looks really angry right now. I don't know. What do we do?
Don't ask me. I don't know much about owlbears.
Stay right here, angry or tasty ape child. Then I will shoot into the air and kind of see if I can get a better look at what's going on and maybe it itself.
Yeah, make a perception check.
It's 14?
14's pretty good. You do see, it looks like there is a tree obstructing the road further ahead that has fallen over. You don't see any more detail on the owlbear from up here.
If I hover down between it and the tree, out of its reach, but obviously on the other side of it, does it change direction and where does it focus?
So as you move over the top of its head and start moving towards the tree, it rushes underneath you and it stands on its hind legs ready to claw if you come down.
Well, it looks like it doesn't want anything to do with us, but it's blocking something.
Maybe it's got a little baby bear.
You can't communicate with it, isn't it? One of your distant kin, owl man.
All rocks, your distant kin.
He eats rocks.
Come on, man.
Then I will get up a little bit higher and head towards the tree and see if I can see what's going on.
You go upwards again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it now is over right next to the tree watching you.
Okay.
In the air.
Is there anything about the tree now that I'm closer to that I can...
Oh, are you...
Yeah.
You're closer to the tree?
Yeah, I would definitely like to move closer to the fallen tree.
As you move closer, it is charging, and it's going to try to jump up and take a swipe if you're close enough.
Well, I would definitely be ready to get out of the way of that.
Okay.
I don't want nothing to do with that.
I will say, because you're ready, you easily move out of the way as it tries to jump up. Its huge body kind of bounding, and it slashes through the air, just barely really missing as it slams back down into the ground, mud spraying up everywhere.
While this is happening, can I actually move to where I'm within 30 feet of the owlbear?
Yang's going to go up with her.
Okay, you both go up.
And I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts on the owlbear.
Okay. It seems angry, and you get a little bit of this scared sense and this protective urge.
All right. I'll turn to Yang and I'll say, it seems like it is protecting something. I can't tell what.
Let me see. I'm going to cast Detect Magic and see if there's anything like sensors going off of like specifically about that tree or anything like that.
You cast Detect Magic, but there's no magic other than... You would see a bit of magic kind of flitting in the trees, distant, so a little hard to read and make out. And then you would see Shava's necklace is glowing. And then those would be the only things you see. The tree and the owlbear do not seem to have any sort of magic involved.
It doesn't seem like it's protecting anything like magical. I think it's just crazy.
Do I see anything else now that I'm like right above this tree? Now that we're closer to it?
I will say, as you start inspecting, it is keeping a very watchful eye on you. But you do see something underneath that looks like shiny. As I would say, as an Aarakocra, you would recognize it as nesting material.
Whispers, do you see anything?
I believe this creature's nest has been crushed by this fallen tree. Perhaps it is protecting its young? Or soon to be young?
Well, we gotta save those babies if they're under there.
Well, do you have any ideas? I'm not exactly the strongest. I can't lift up a tree.
Okay, Yang's gonna use his telekinetic abilities and lift the tree with his mind.
I don't remember that spell.
Okay, wait, you're right.
I have these special powers
it's
we never
under
talked
Arcana.
about.
Don't even worry about it.
I could set it on fire.
No!
We're in a forest. I don't think that's a good idea.
How do we lift a tree?
If you could distract it, I could take Voom over there. He could probably lift it.
That's a good idea.
I can engage the creature on the far side of the tree, but once it sees you near its nest, you will not have much time.
I can keep it distracted too. And I think I'm gonna begin running into the trees to start climbing in the direction that you're kind of trying to lead it.
Okay.
The three of you in tandem can keep it off my back. We'll get it up.
So are you getting closer, Yang, to the owlbear?
Yeah, I think so. Like getting closer to the owlbear, like going towards the more wooded area to climb up.
Yeah, it will turn to you defensively.
Ah!
Yeah.
I will swoop at it, but just I've seen how high it can jump, so I will be prepared to kind of come out of the way, get its attention, and then land just a little bit past the tree on the far side from the group, so that it's got to cross the tree to the other side, so that Voom can run up kind of unobstructed.
So you're making yourself bait, kind of.
I am making myself bait.
Okay.
And I will definitely go into a rage.
All right.
And then I will be using non-lethal damage on the creature.
Oh, you are striking at it.
Well, I'm going to defend myself and keep it engaged in battle.
Okay. So it is, as you swoop down, it is going to make its attack at you. It's going to make an opportunity attack. That's probably going to hit with a 21.
Oh, yeah.
15 piercing damage as it snaps up with its beak and catches at your leg. It does start chasing after you.
Okay.
Do we want to roll for initiative?
I think this would be a good time.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh no. Good thing it's just initiative.
Yang has 17.
17 for Yang,
19 for Whispers.
19 for Whispers,
14 for Darius.
14 for Darius,
5 for Shava.
and 5 for Shava. Okay. So up first is Whispers. You have landed on the ground, correct?
Yep.
And the owlbear is barreling towards you.
Okay. Then I am going to strike at it with the flat side of my polearm.
Sure.
Not attempting to do a lot of damage, but just definitely keep it focused on me. And that is going to be a 10. Probably
10 does not hit. So you go up to smack at it, and it looks like it's about to just rip your throat out. Next up is Yang.
Okay, guys, don't worry. I think I know how I can control this thing.
Oh, boy.
And he's gonna run,
Don't tell me you're gonna get on the.
and he's gonna jump up onto it and like climb up its back.
No.
All right.
And the goal here too is to grab like its feathers and try to like steer it.
That sounds like a classic animal handling check. For me.
Hey, I like it. I like it.
This is like Ratatouille levels.
That's wisdom, right? Yeah.
Whispers just looks at you really confused.
That's a 16.
16's pretty good. It's gonna make an opposed check. Nope. You manage to land on its back. You grab its two longest flight kind of feathers that it has on its back and arms, and you just grab a hold of them and you start tugging on them, and it tries to shake you off, but you are holding fast.
All right, we're going this way, and kind of like trying to like steer him around where Whispers is, and keep going down the road that way.
Okay. Yeah. I think you have managed to control it. You are on it and you are in control of it, and like next time your turn comes around, you could then make another roll
and
with a success could move it around.
Whispers would call out, "Do not let it look back at the others."
Okay.
Did Voom go into the initiative?
Voom is standing there, unsure what to do.
I'm gonna analyze it in my turn.
Okay.
So yeah, next up is Darius.
I'm gonna do exactly that. Alright, boom. I'm gonna like take my arms. That 3, lift, go, and like pull his arm and just kind of walk him over.
He kind of like looks around, uncertain, and then kind of grabs the tree.
Good job.
And then
Watching him just like this tree, like boom.
the tree, he easily starts lifting it up. Dust and mud and leaves and branches start cracking as he moves it up, and you can now see underneath it there is a tattered nest, a large nest, probably about 10 feet across, where there are 3 blue kind of speckled eggs. One of them is completely crushed, but the other 2 seem intact.
I'm gonna go in and take both of the eggs, just like move them out of the tree, and kind of hide the broken one because I don't want the owlbear to see it and think we broke it.
How are you hiding it?
I don't know. I'll just put a bunch of leaves and sticks over it. Darius isn't gonna try it. He doesn't know.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And I'm feeling done for it. Take it over, then move the other 2 out of the way. All right, well, that's enough. And set it back down.
And yeah, that's Darius's turn. It's now the owlbear's turn. it is going to look back, hearing the thunderous boom.
We're gonna get out of like. Can we get just out of the way?
You are holding the eggs, right?
All right, I'm holding them.
Oh
no!
I just gave him permission.
Yeah, you
Whatever.
I mean,
That's fine.
That's way funnier.
Oh no!
It turns, seeing the eggs in your hands, and it just bolts. Let's see, it can go 80 feet, so
Can I make an opportunity attack?
yeah, you
Then
can.
I would like to use my tripping side of my polearm
nice.
to try and trip the owlbear as it runs. It's a 22 to hit.
May I provide help on that action?
You are still on attack.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is, I want.
you're on
I
attack.
want to, because like I'm imagining, I'm like holding onto the feathers on the side of its head here on the top, and so I want to just like grab onto one side and just like drop down and yank it to the side,
Yeah, so this would be
which way.
this would
Whispers
be
is tripping.
advantage because it's making it safe, but I'll give it disadvantage.
Okay,
because
cool.
you're on its back trying to maneuver it.
Nice.
So it would need to be to 15.
Okay, the first one it did beat. So, whoop, ooh, that's even better. You go to use your taloned staff to trip at it, but it just, like, you latch into it and you start to pull it back, and it just, like, your arm lurches forward and it just carries the staff away.
Oh dear.
And it starts bolting. The staff clatters to the side, and then it jumps up off the tree, ready to swipe at you. But that's its turn. So
And Yang's just like hanging off the front of it now.
Shava.
Oh man.
Oh man. Can I try to distract it with thaumaturgy?
You can.
Okay, I'm going to make my best attempt at some owlbear noises.
Okay. This will be.
Which
This can't fail.
Do they growl or do they?
You would have heard it like roar and growl. So deception.
Deception?
Check. Straight deception.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's a 7.
Okay.
It's a very Shava roll for something like that.
That is a failure. You watch as whatever you've just whatever you just said in owlbear is only making it more angry.
It's not distracting it though?
No, it seems only more intent on getting its eggs, and actually seems more on edge than before.
That's lovely. I'm very excited about that. I'll cast Hex on it.
Bonus action.
Yep.
Your blue-white energy sparks out, swirling around it.
She's like, that didn't work.
All right.
Well, that was a pretty bad idea. How did I sound though?
You sounded great.
Oy.
Next up is Whispers.
I didn't get
Your staff is clattered to the
Yep.
ground in front of you.
I'm going to shoot forward, take flight just off the ground, pick up my staff along the way. How far is the owlbear from me now?
It is now around like 60 feet away.
Okay, so that's too far for me to get. Then I will use my movement to fly, and then I will use my action to dash, and I will put myself right between the owlbear and Darius, and I will look at Darius. I'll say, "Run and put the eggs down in the woods."
You got it!
And I will stand there getting ready to take a pounding.
Okay, so you were just trying to like
I
literally
am just
stand in
meat
front of it.
shielding Darius from
Okay.
the owlbear.
All right. Yang, it is your turn.
Okay, Yang is going to, like, swinging and jolting back and forth on the side of its head, is going to climb up and try to, like, cover its eyes.
Okay.
And just make it so it can't see anything.
So this is going to be another animal handling check.
All right. That is a 14.
You succeed. You, it is so difficult as this thing is bounding and you're like bouncing up and down, but you manage to jump forward, covering its eyes, and it starts trying to toss you off from side to side.
Yang's just scrambling like,
as it's running forward towards Darius, and it goes to hit off of the tree, it then shoots over the top as it bounds forward, bits of tree cracking as it jumps up, and then not knowing where to land, hits the ground and needs to make a save to not fall over. Okay, and it lands, like, tottering from side to side as it comes to a stop.
How close is it to the rest of us, then?
Now it's, like, right next
Yeah, now
to
it's
you.
Yeah, I would think it's...
Because it basically jumped over Darius, because it lost sight of you
Nice.
at that moment.
Good.
That's good.
Am I helping?
And then it is Darius's turn.
Darius is bolting. He's going straight into those woods as far as he can.
All right. It cannot make an attack of opportunity because it's blinded.
It's blinded. Good.
So you run into the woods and
As
you
far
set-
as I can make it,
you
and I set them like in a safe spot where they won't roll or tumble over. Just like, all right, stay there, and then he's gonna run back.
all right.
And he's gonna run like kind of like directionally away back towards the road, like diagonally away from the owlbear,
Okay.
but still towards the road.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take most of your movement.
Right.
You're still like on the road as you're trying to.
We're playing peekaboo with this thing right now.
It is now the owlbear's turn. It is going to try to shake Yang off.
Try to do a dex.
I would say this is an opposed like grapple check, right?
Okay. Could I
Kinda.
use dex for my grapple?
Yes,
for my
you can.
grapple? Okay.
Athletics or acrobatics.
Excellent. That is... Oh, that's a 17.
It actually, that is a 19.
Sounds fair.
So
I didn't think this plan would last very long.
no, but you try to hold on to its feathers, but it just, with all its weight, throws its body to the side, and you fly off of it and clatter into the ground, rolling in mud.
That was actually pretty fun.
It looks angry now as it moves its head side to side, looking for wherever its eggs have gone, and makes a perception check to hopefully see wherever Darius puts
See
them.
where we hit its eggs.
I didn't hide him.
And it is just in a blind rage, ready to attack. I think Yang, since you're on the ground, it's looking to just destroy you. So, Shava.
I'm actually going to run back into the woods. And did I see where he put the eggs?
Yeah, you would have.
Okay, I'm going to put them on the roadside.
You grab the eggs.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, she should definitely have enough time to just move them in.
Yeah, I'm just
Move
going
them
to
in
like
place.
move them 5
Okay,
feet
yeah.
closer to the road.
Yeah, you take them and you move them a little closer. And then
Would that be considered my
I
action?
think it would.
Yeah. Well, probably to grab them, put them down. and hopefully run.
Grabbing them, putting them down, making sure you don't accidentally crush them.
I'm going to use my bonus action to sprint out of there.
All right, you sprint away. You watch as this owlbear is now tracking your movement. And next up is Whispers.
So it has noticed where the eggs are?
It looks like it's noticed where the eggs are. And
Okay. Then I will, in Eric Cochran, say, I am sorry for the violence, sister. Hunt well. Take the disengage action and fly up out of its reach.
Okay, sure. You fly up into the air. And Yang, you are on the ground. It does not look like it's it's ready to murder you anymore.
Okay.
But it is looking now at its eggs ready to go over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to just like scramble backwards and like climb up into the trees and just jump more deeper into the woods.
Okay.
So like, I'm sorry, we were just trying to help.
You scramble up the trees. Can you make a perception check for me?
Oh yeah. Can do. That's 20, not nat.
Oh, okay. You see something in the trees. As you notice them, it seems like they can tell you notice and hide behind the tree in line.
Are they like bigger creatures?
They looked about humanoid size,
Okay.
but they were like completely in like a deep, dark, evergreen colored sort of cloth looking thing, but you didn't get along to look at them before they hide. They're pretty far away.
Okay. Yang thinks, uh-oh.
Darius. Yeah,
I got nothing to do.
All right.
I'm just like, I'm getting out of there.
So at this point, the owlbear...
Dwarf trucking through the woods.
Yeah, just giant. Unnatural sprinters.
The owlbear bounds over to its eggs and then scoops them up in its claw-like wings, bare arms. And it actually scoops them up and stands up on its hind legs and starts like cradling them and then walking away, backing away slowly as it watches all of you intently. Big dinner plate owl eyes.
Is it backing into the woods?
Into the woods.
Okay.
And I think that'll take us out of initiative.
Whispers, come back! There's some stuff going on over here, I think. There's some people in the woods.
I am coming, tasty apeling child.
Okay. And Yang's gonna like go down a few like branches to get out of his range.
I will swoop over to him really fast because I know it bothers him and land right next to him and look at him and says, "What vexes you?" Get real close to his face.
There's definitely some people in the woods here. I think there's something else going on with this owlbear.
Make a perception check, Whispers.
So I would look in the direction he's pointing me, but it's only a 10.
Yeah, so you do not see any sort of things out of the ordinary. As far as you can tell, it's a regular forest.
Hey, we know you're out there. There's no point in hiding anymore. What do you want?
There is no response or movement or anything.
We got rid of the owlbear if that's what you were waiting for.
Absolutely nothing.
And I'm going to turn back to shout at the rest of the team and say, like, guys, we might need some backup over here. Something fishy's going on.
I haven't yet recovered. I haven't run that much in 50 years.
Darius is just keeled over.
Yeah. I'm pure done in.
Yeah, during this time, I would have run up to Voom too and like climbed on his back.
Onward!
Voom kind of like brings his hands up, trying to like reach you, but can't because his arms don't bend that way.
Oh.
Okay, I'll like sit on his shoulder then.
He's so soft-spoken.
Oh. Are you okay with this? I really don't want to touch the mud. Yay! Onward, Voom!
I guess we'll trudge over to where they are. Just ever so tired.
Whispers, what do you think is going on here?
Stay here. You were brave. And then I will fly off, and I will fly to where he was pointing and see if I can see anything else.
Whispers, make a perception check.
That's a 7. That's a 4.
A 4?
No, I'm sorry. It is a 6. I rolled wrong.
You circle around the rough area. You couldn't really tell where Yang was pointing in the first place. And you circle around, but nothing catches your eyes out of the ordinary. You don't see any sort of weird-looking anything.
Then I'll head back to the group then.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to also just, like, keep an eye on the owlbear, like, backing into the forest. And maybe I just thought I saw something, but yeah, I'm going to go back to the road with the group.
Okay. You all reconvene onto the road. Whispers flies, swooping down to you. Voom is charging forward at the command of Shava. So there they go. And Yang also is scurrying back.
Yeah, I thought I saw some people in the woods, but I don't know, we couldn't find anything.
You hit your head on something while you were trying to tame the beast?
No. He sticks his tongue out you. At least I can run.
Oh. You're getting awfully close to a hit there, laddie.
Perhaps we should have move the tree from the road so other travelers can pass.
Am I still on Voom's shoulder?
Unless you say you're not.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you guys are just going.
All right, I'm gonna have him turn around and go back.
He turns around and starts plodding back. You guys tell Voom to move it, and he just this giant tree like flips over back into the woods and then crashes back in, knocking over a ton of branches and other stuff, and a bunch of leaf litter like clatters and smashes up out of the ground. And Voom just stands there,
Yang's
looking
like,
around.
Wow, what are you doing? Killing trees is not okay.
Was there anything cool underneath the stump on the ground, or like where it was laying?
There is the tattered remains of the owlbear nest, and inside you see a few other sparkly bits of something.
We searching.
Oh yeah.
So as you go under there, you see a bunch of random things. You see bits of like broken glass, like colored broken glass. You find about 10 gold coins in total, as well as what looks to be a lens, but it's all tattered and scratched, like something from a magnifying glass that's been knocked out. And that's all you find in there.
Okay, I'm gonna leave all the glass and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna take the gold.
Okay.
Yang will take the shiniest pieces.
Okay.
Whispers would hop over. That lens is very attractive. And he would pick up the shiny bit and start looking at it and hold it up to his eye, and his one eye would get really big. Oh boy. I will keep this.
You continue onward on this path. The landscape begins to change a little bit, and it turns into this kind of carved stone network with a canyon. And this road is like right at the entrance of this stone canyon that looks like it's been worn away, like a river has cut through it, but is all completely dried now. Moss and leaves and vines hang over the top, and there's this kind of ominous entryway that turns off to the left. The sun's still out and shining. You also, after like looking around for a little while, find it's like a stone plaque that has kind of fallen to the wayside and is kind of overgrown. And in it is carved Gravestone, which is the name of the town that Jenna mentioned.
This settlement does have a very uncomfortable feel to it.
Before we go in, I'm going to telepathically speak to Nyx and ask her to survey the lands from above.
On it, you hear the flutter of wings beside your ear as Nyx flies upwards to try to and start surveying the land. Go ahead and have Nyx make a perception check.
All right. Well, that's not great. That's going to be a 9.
Nyx flies back, and as she's flying back, she says, "Nothing to report."
Thank you.
I will whisper as well, take constant watch to pay attention to what is going on in his surroundings.
Darius is starting his experiments with trying to figure out how to talk to Voom better.
Yeah, Voom mostly just seems confused. Although, as you've seen, Voom does understand basic concepts, but any sort of like imagery or flowery language or any sort of complexity really gets lost on him.
So no figures of speech or anything.
Yeah, that would not work. This whole place, there's like bits of sunlight kind of peeking through foliage above, but most of it's blocked. I would say it's basically dim light in this kind of cavernous tunnel. And you reach a kind of branching pathway, but Nyx would tell you which way would actually work.
I'm going to not say it in a way where I have a familiar. I'm going to be I think we should really go this way.
Oh,
I have a strong feeling about it.
Darius, what do you think? You know rocks, right?
From the looks of it, it's naturally formed, probably a river. And then, can't tell just by looking at it. I have to extend it, and we have to walk through it. But looking at it, doesn't look unnatural or magical. Just somebody found it and decided to make a settlement.
That's wonderful. This way or that way?
I'm not a built-in compass, if that's what you're asking.
I think, Darius, you would, with some, like, with your knowledge of stonework and dwarves just having kind of a natural inclination, you would understand that a canyon like this would be carved out by rivers over time. Right. And you would also understand when you're looking at the ways, which ones were feeding trails. And you probably should follow, like, the main river path.
Okay. Yeah. Which was that, right or left?
Yeah, that'll be right.
Right.
Can you have Nyx make another perception check for me?
Nyx rolled an 18.
18 is good. I think there's someone watching us, but I can't get a good read on them.
Guys, do you feel like something's watching us right now?
I'll look around. That's pretty good. 18 plus 5.
Okay, wow, that is really good. 23?
Yeah.
You see a similar looking green kind of cloak just out of sight, kind of blocking a little bit of sun through the top foliage, and then
so they're
disappear up top.
Okay. Oh my gosh! I knew it! I saw them again! The Green Cloak people!
Literally no one else saw it.
I knew I wasn't crazy! They're here!
Where?
Up there!
I would take a look.
Yang's just gonna start climbing up, actually.
When you look up, you do not see any sort of sign of it. No, there's nothing there anymore.
Yang's gonna start climbing up.
All right.
And then, like, how thick is the vault? Like, can he, like, poke his head through?
It's like a maze of foliage that you'd have to, like, crawl through.
So he's
like
gonna,
all these roots and
Gotcha.
vines.
He's gonna climb up as much as he can and just yell, "Go away! I know you're following us, just leave us alone!"
Perhaps the apeling did hit his head.
Don't worry, guys, I'll keep watch for you. And actually, Yang's gonna, like, travel now, like, swinging from, like, root to root.
You continue along, and you stumble across white kind of paintings across the entire sides of these, this canyon side. There's these elaborate white paintings of skulls and bones. It's just like a whole ton of this death-based imagery all over the walls.
Doesn't look good, guys. Everyone's just, like, silently looking at them.
Can we decode anything else from it?
What are you looking for?
Maybe traces of magic.
Okay, make an Arcana check.
That's going to be an 18.
None of the symbols really strike you as innately magical, though they seem in some way to reference magic in their imagery. You see kind of you see images that are kind of more religious, probably, from what you're looking at in the magical sense.
From this, am I able to depict any sort of like story based around this magic, or?
As you kind of frame it in your head as a story, it seems like there's kind of this transition from death to undeath, almost. And they kind of line up in such a way. And you see focused kind of in the middle as you continue down this path, this strange-looking, it's like a giant upside-down chandelier-looking thing that's just entirely massive with this crescent moon around it.
I think that we may be dealing with undead here. This story talks about death becoming undeath or new life.
Oh, not again. I hate these guys.
I suggest we try it with some caution.
Could you sketch what the symbol is? Because I don't think I actually...
It might take a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of complicated, but I can draw a basic shape kind of structure.
And we'll post it on the social media channel so you guys can see it too.
I do not think the mayor of Wellrose would have sent us to some place of great danger. Perhaps. I am uncertain.
Yeah, what was... Who has the letter?
This is old. This has been here for a long time. If there's an undead problem recently...
Yeah,
I mean,
these runes might not have anything to do with it.
how can I investigate how old the stone, like the carving, is?
Yeah, it's... As you look closer, it looks like maybe a chalky type of paint. It does look more recent. Like within the past probably 5 years at the...
Can I do a religion check to see if it matches up with anything specific that we would know about in the area?
Yes, you can.
That's a 7.
None of this imagery looks familiar to you. Your god of knowledge that you follow is very much more of a brains and eyes and nodes and these kinds of like informational shapes, whereas this is much more artistic and visceral.
Okay.
maybe this is where Andy came to learn how he raised the dead.
That makes me want to not be here even more.
That is a fair deduction, though.
Yang's gonna pull out the letter because he has it. Because I really think he does, because he put on airs that he's the leader of the group when talking to Jenna.
Oh my gosh.
And he's gonna try to hold it up in one of the light shafts and try to look through it before he opens it.
You find that whatever paper was used was actually too thick to do this with.
Does it have a seal on it?
It does.
Damn it! And he's just gonna open it. Guys, I can put it back together. I can mend it together. It's fine. It's fine.
It is not proper.
He's already dropped the envelope. He's just reading.
It's just muddy on the ground.
I imagine one of them are going to catch it because he's still just like hanging here. And
I like to know secrets, but even that's a little too much.
I just don't like it here. He's going to read it.
Okay. It says, if this letter remains unopened, we can trust them.
No, it does not say that.
Yeah, it does. That's all it says.
Guys, give me that envelope back.
What does it say?
Just don't worry, it's all right.
I don't want to know.
It says if it remains unopened, then we can trust them. So I really need to put this back together. And he's just gonna drop down and.
So they can't trust us anymore, can they?
No. Okay. And
Give me the letter.
He's gonna cast Yeah, he'll give it to you if you want to read it.
No, I put it immediately back in there and tell you to fix it. Fix your mistake.
All right. And he's gonna like do all this like fancy stuff, like he's casting like a really big spell to try to make you guys
gonna roll his eyes hard.
Make you guys think he's doing something fancy.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just gonna cast mending.
All that happens is like the wax kind of seals over. Like it's not even like that big a deal. It's just like the tiniest little line getting fixed.
Yeah.
All right.
I did it.
I'm gonna hit you on the back of the head just really lightly with my hand. Just bap.
Well, I mean, jeez. This is good news. That means we know that whoever's here should be on the good side. I don't know.
That you should respect other people's privacy, though.
Says you. You made the plan to go steal from that big fat guy.
In my family, that's worth exile.
Oh. Okay.
In some cultures, opening another's mail is a felony offense.
Bird mail.
Well, not in Calpool, I don't
If you
think.
think about the kind of stuff her family's sending,
Yeah.
they'd kill over that.
Your family has some bad mail.
I'm gonna pull out my quarterstaff and smack Yang.
Yeah, we're all gonna hit him. At least
We are obviously in unison against Yang at the moment.
Oh my gosh, you guys. You don't value my contributions, and I'm going to climb back up and start looking up through the trees.
There's nothing up there.
Yeah.
Yang is still swinging from vine to vine above you guys. As you hit the edge of this pathway, this canyon, and there's a kind of divoted area, and it goes down, and you see several waterfalls, and you hear them before you see them, but these waterfalls kind of crashing over with all this beautiful foliage, and it's a semicircular shape around you, and it kind of falls in a bit with these beautiful green trees, and this white imagery, this white paint kind of is all over the place. And you see across the top of this place, there are some trees growing through, but you see big, like wooden slabs that have been roughly constructed over the top. And as you look down, it looks like they're creating roads of shadow between these buildings that are carved directly into the stone around you. You see about maybe 5 figures down below, all kind of milling about. It looks almost normal at first, but as you look closer, you see one is fully skeletal and seems to be carrying sticks across their shoulder. You see several different heights of humanoids. They look zombified and like their flesh is rotting. There are buildings carved into multiple levels in this kind of circular, imagine like a cylinder of emptiness going down with a bunch of like some trees connecting over the top with their roots wrapped around each other. And then between those, and these shadows fall directly into the paths of the buildings between each other. And you see now that these undead are actually walking along those those shadow paths.
So the light,
that hit down below.
Fascinating.
terrifying.
If it wasn't covered in undead, this would be a great place to set up camp. Because Darius thinks the buildings are cool.
Is there anything around that looks sentient?
Are you guys taking a moment to kind of study?
I would like to.
Yeah.
They all seem to be moving in very natural, like, human ways. None of them seem to be moving like you have... You all probably have various experiences and have heard stories of undead. Usually, and this isn't always true, mindless creatures. There are also stories about powerful undead entities that have control over their minds. But usually when you're talking about skeletons and zombies, they are mindless creatures that simply want to kill. But like the one carrying the sticks over its shoulder sets them down and seems to be working on something. Some kind of like structural thing. You see an actual fire going down below as well, with circles of stones around it.
As strange as this is, I suggest we not rush to judgment.
Yeah.
This is a community.
There's like these different stairs carved into the walls that all lead to these different levels and rooms with windows and doorways actually carved into the stone.
Okay.
All right, I guess let's go down then.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Welcome back to the Dive Lounge. Hello, divers, cloudsters, I don't know what to call any of you. If you have an idea for what you should be called, reach out to us and let us know if you can think of something better. This week we received an actual real review, unlike the last week's, from Vinny_C. Fun content, good storytelling, and plenty of funny shenanigans. Love the podcast. Keep it up, guys. Now, I may know who that person is and may or may not have badgered them into listening in the first place, but as far as I'm concerned, a review is a review. So thank you very much, Vinny_C. Ancient ruins filled with a village of undead. Will the party be able to overcome their preconceived notions of undeath? And are they really as harmless as they seem? Back to the show. As you peek out, are you guys trying to hide yourselves? Or are you just kind of standing out in the open at the top?
Thought we decided to start walking down.
Yeah, you're
into
okay. Yeah,
we're on the main.
After reading the
road
note,
trail.
Yang, I've made the assumption that like this is probably a safe place.
Okay. There is a smaller child-looking undead who points up at you, and all the other ones turn to look.
Right.
I want to wave, but I know I shouldn't. So I'm just like, oh.
At the bottom of these steps, a broken-faced looking... It looks like at one point was a human man, but part of the face is kind of ripped away, and you can see all the teeth and bone from one side, and then their entire upwards face is kind of carved away, and they are missing like their eye socket.
Yuck! Sorry.
Slaps him.
And they walk up slowly, arms kind of outstretched. They are all kind of wearing tattered clothes, nothing by any means fancy. It looks like scraps of cloth, linen, and things that have been wrapped around their bodies. As you get closer, that's more easy to see.
I mean, they're not doing anything violent, right? They're just kind of looking at us.
No, and one is approaching you at the bottom of the steps and kind of waiting for you to get closer.
I will hold out the letters. We bear a letter from Wellrose for Gash.
That's me. I'm Gash.
Wait, are you really? Oh, I get it.
Uh-huh.
The whole
face thing.
The face thing.
That's
yeah.
the one, yeah.
I'll slap him again.
It is nice to meet you.
Gash reaches forward. You see his hands kind of bits of bone kind of peeking through and clearly rotten and like falling away flesh across the arm, which is mostly covered in like scraps of cloth with like ichor soaked through. And he takes the letter. Welcome to Gravestone. I know looks might be a bit detrimental to my image, but I assure you we mean no harm and are a peaceful people. And he tucks the letter away into a kind of stash on his side.
Well, aren't you going to read it? We brought it all the way here.
I will read it in my personal study.
Okay, because we kept it very safe.
I'm glad.
Gang.
I'm just like smiling at our team.
Is he always like that?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you mean?
What did you say? Do not let our appearance put you off.
Ah,
I mean, it is an apeling. Someone who looks like a devil. Myself. And a dwarf.
I don't look like a devil. I'm very cute.
Yes.
Yeah, a cute devil.
Shava's very outwardly pouting at this.
I think what Whispers means to say is that we are welcoming of all sights and peoples. If you don't mind me asking, how exactly are all of you living like this?
well, we don't truly understand ourselves. Come with me. We'll come by the fireside. We'll chat.
All right.
He leads you over to this campfire, and it has these carved stone benches across it. And he sits, and he takes a rod and kind of stokes the fire.
Is this like a common area in the town? Or?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is out completely exposed. This area is bathed in shadow from the from one of the trees, and then you've watched as he's following this shadowed path across across the town, and you're walking alongside, but he seems to be following this path.
Do the people, as we're walking there, like, what are the people around? What do they do?
You see a few like glowing kind of eyes peeking out from windows, and you see that skeleton from before still working on making something. It looks like he's actually weaving a basket, sitting cross-legged.
Did you find this place, or do you always have memory of being here?
I will tell you our story.
All right.
Please feel free to take a seat. We don't really need the fire for the heat, though we do make tools occasionally. We can't really feel anything anymore. And he stokes the fire, and it kind of whoosh. And then we get into the story.
Story time.
I was there, surrounded in earth, unable to move, and I began to fight and push my way up to the surface after weeks, I think, but I lost track of time. When I arrived at the surface, I was in a graveyard. And I found some very peculiar others like me who were waiting there. I was one of the first, and then others followed. We are, as far as I can tell, a new phenomena to the world. Maybe you've experienced other undead before?
Yes, we have.
They weren't very nice. You guys seem nice, though.
In the last 6 months that the tower has fallen, it seems to have changed the way that undead function. Our souls seem maybe tattered but intact when we return from the dead, unlike the old ones. Though some of us more so than others.
You said you came out of the ground about 6 months ago when the tower fell?
That's correct. We have vague memories of a distant place, a giant city of undead, but that is mostly all that I can remember, and others do not remember much more. Some more, some less. The image of a giant creature wearing cloaks, carrying some kind of blade, and other than that, nothing. And then we return, and we do not remember our former lives in any sort of matter. It seems that our people desire something. We all return for some kind of reason. Either we are brought back from the dead through magical means, or we return in some other unknown way. And we always have some kind of goal. And those who can't succeed in their goal fall to madness.
This is fascinating. And you believe this is related solely to the falling of the tower?
Possibly. We can't say for sure. but the time periods certainly line up.
What kind of goals are they? What is yours?
I do not know. We don't know how they work, and those who can't remember their past lives, which is most of us, do not have a good idea of what kind of goal we are after.
Did you say they're more like regrets of your past life that you need to fulfill?
Potentially. Something that we longed for or desired in life seems to be a consistent theme, and very few of us have actually succeeded in our goals. And that brings me to another point. One person recently has, unfortunately, we weren't watching him as close as we should. His mental state was deteriorating, and he left towards a local cave. We're worried that he may have succumbed, but if you could go after him, we'd certainly appreciate the gesture. I don't expect something for nothing, though.
What was his name?
Frederick.
Okay, I was worried he was going to be Andy.
The tower has restored your people for a second chance. Truly, its power is impressive. Whispers would make some sort of like fluttering with his arms and his hands in a very ritualistic pattern. Whoa.
Gash holds up his hand and looks through it as the light kind of shines through, showing a bit of his face. I don't know if I would call it really a second chance.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys were never meant to come back up, and something got set way off from this tower. I don't know. You seem like a good person, but it seems like it's not what was supposed to be.
I don't know if anything's supposed to be like anything. But if you could help me find Frederick, I would certainly appreciate it. Those tunnels are dangerous and filled with entities that we did not bother with. We boarded it up when we heard kind of cries and screams. Monsters are common this deep in the Midwood, and we figured if we just boarded it up, it would be fine. But we found footprints and one of Frederick's belongings in front of the entrance, and one of the boards was moved out of the way.
Can you give us a description of what he looks like?
Like us. Most of his flesh has fallen away. He's mostly bone.
And you said he's gone crazy?
Not necessarily, but it's likely.
Okay.
He, in these past few weeks, had been more and more distraught, and we tried to console him, but it was my failing to not convince him properly.
Can we have some time to consider with our group?
Of course.
Do you guys have any food? We're so hungry.
We do not keep food on hand as we do not need it. I apologize. Though, if there's anything else we can do for you, we can certainly put you up in a watertight room, something that will protect from the elements.
That would be great. I would really appreciate that.
Is there anything else I can help you with? I will, I do have a stash of gold that I've been keeping just in case, for some kind of interaction with, living. So that's what I can pay you with.
Could you give us like a map or a good detailed explanation on how to get to the cave?
It's truly right. When you're coming in, if you take a left-hand turn.
Before we go, though, what's the situation with this shadow stuff? Is it like a Pirates of the Caribbean kind of thing?
My fourth wall. You took a hammer and you just went at the fourth wall, and it was scared.
Now we're through. We're through that wall.
Now we're through. And the new age.
We all have to live with it.
We all have to live with the consequences of Brandon's actions because Pirates of the Caribbean is now canon.
No.
No, not really. No.
I've heard.
Only the first movie.
Okay.
Could be like a traveling play.
All right. Oh, the artwork. That's the work of our local painter. I believe he was a painter in life, though he says he does not remember. If you'd like to speak with him, the symbology of his work is relevant to all of us undead.
But what about the shadows? Are you guys only able to walk on shadows or something?
The shadows. The sunlight hurts us. It is, as far as we can tell, it is closely tied to the divine, and its light hurts our bodies. Though we can be out in the daylight, it is uncomfortable and eventually will lead to our second deaths.
Is that, this is just a Yang thing, is that normal for undead in this world?
You do know that undead do not go out in the daytime.
Okay.
Though they can be, it is unlikely. You also make I guess this would be a religion check.
Gotcha. 2.
Okay, you do not know this piece of information.
Gosh, I am puzzled by your thought process on second chances. Your road is difficult now that your flesh falls off your bones. But you died not completing something important to your soul. You are now in exile from death, so you might get a second chance at the afterlife. I too am exiled from my land, with a slim chance of long-term survival, but a chance is a chance. And I'll just hop away.
You're not even letting him respond? No. All right. He just kind of shakes his head a little bit.
I'm gonna go up to him as well and be like, don't worry about Frederick. If he didn't want help, you can't give help to someone who won't accept it.
He nods and is clearly receptive to your condolences.
The whispers as he's hopping away will kind of do a U-turn, hop back around, and also say, and also this foolish apeling child opened your letter. He was scolded. He is naughty and is a pain everywhere.
Why would you?
We apologize for the transgression.
And
then I will hop away again.
You see him actually, like, the bits of flesh on one side kind of rise up in a smile, and he opens the letter and he undoes the wax and he pulls it out, and the paper is completely black.
Oh no.
It has turned completely black.
Oh.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah, but
and he folds it back up.
I'm sorry. It was scary here. You have to understand.
So, is there anything else I can do for you?
Show us where the house is.
The skeleton who is weaving the basket stops and gets up and has this, like, really creaky kind of, like, rusty voice. But it's interesting because there is clearly no actual, like, method for this speech. Because, there's no lungs, there's no throat. Okay, follow me. And this skeleton leads you up to the second story to an empty building. It has enough space for all of you to sleep, but it's pretty tight. And then there's a window and a big doorway with kind of a rough wooden plank in front that you have to move to the side.
Yang is gonna go through our bags and grab some food and start munching down. So what do you guys think about this whole Frederick thing?
The skeleton has actually not left and is
just standing there?
He's standing there and he like does a tiny knock on the door even though you're all standing there. If you could all find Frederick, I'd truly appreciate it. He's been a good friend to me. That's all I have to say. And then he kind of clops along, his bones kind of rattling as he leaves.
Whoops.
You really ought to learn to hold your tongue.
Responding to what you said, though, we'll try our best. I don't have any issue trying to find this Frederick.
I don't know. It seems scary and I don't know. These people just still don't sit right with me because if they came from when the tower fell, then there must have been something here before that. And they just took this place?
My guess is that this place was abandoned far long before they found it, and they simply all banded together, noticing they're in the same situation, and decided to set up shop.
I don't know. I also just don't like caves, so the idea of going into one doesn't really excite me too much.
Nor do I, tasty apeling child.
Stop saying that!
Find your bravery. You wrestled an owl bear. A cave should be nothing for you.
Starts to puff his chest out. Yeah, you're right.
Of course I am.
The way I see it is, at least for me, is I came to understand this tower, and this the tower had obviously something to do with the rising of the dead, so might as well find Frederick. It might give a little bit of insight.
Well, if they're here and the tower is seen as a possibly divine thing, this could just be divine force for their second coming.
Are you all staying in here for the night? Are you going to do the cave thing right away?
What time is it?
It's probably around 6 p.m.
Okay.
So by the time you get there, it will be dark.
I mean, has anybody spent, like...
I don't think anyone needs like a full rest or anything, right?
I want to take a nap at least. If we're doing an overnight cave trip, I want some sleep.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea, too. And he's just going to stuff his face and start chewing and then just like kind of pass out before he can even chew all the rest of the food.
Just crumbs and stuff all around Yang as he falls asleep. Okay, so the night passes without issue, though anyone who's... I assume you guys are probably keeping watch.
Does Whispers do anything like in the nighttime? Because I know you don't sleep as much.
Yeah.
I don't, but I mean, I still do need to rest, so I would be happy to keep extra, keep enough watches, but I could use a rest to get some hit dice back. I would also fly up out of the hole and take a look around the midwood and just see if I can keep my eye out for maybe the individuals that Yang saw.
Okay, you do see a hint of movement far off, kind of where you came in, on that top section.
Okay.
Though you can't make out what it is.
I wouldn't want to go that far, so I would take note that maybe Yang isn't crazy
Okay.
and go back.
Whoop, whoop.
And now that you're out at night, and anyone else who's out at night would see, there is this kind of totem pole that they push up during the night that has torches across it, and it is like a carved wooden trunk with carved skulls and more of that white paint around it. And they prop it up into this divot in the ground. And it...
As we're switching watch, Whispers would look at Shava and say, I am sorry if my comment about your heritage upset you. I thought it was obvious. Do not think you are unattractive because of your heritage. And I'll just hop away and go and huddle up in the corner of the house. Very uncomfortable being in a house.
She's just gonna shake her head, and under her breath, you probably hear her say, I'm pretty proud of my heritage, thanks.
The morning approaches, you hear just thunderous bird chirps all across this place. There are
super echoey, or just...
It is very echoey, and there's just tons of birds. It seems like there are birds that nest up in those top trees above this place, and it is like a cacophony of just chirping and chittering.
I think as they wake up, Yang is just like, "Shut up!"
It also
Whispers, can't you go tell them to be quiet?
Just open up one owl eye and look at you.
Okay.
Close it.
All right. Would you guys like to go right away? And yeah. All right, we are at the front of this this cave entrance. It is fully boarded up, except for one of the boards seems to have been pried loose and is off to the side. Enough space for someone if they kind of shimmied through to get into.
Can everyone see in the dark besides me?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm assuming there's a torch somewhere that he can grab. He doesn't have any torches.
You guys would have brought torches. At least probably Whispers has torches because he's
responsible.
Responsible for you guys making it through the midwood. The entrance is open. If you guys would like to do anything.
Not first.
Up to you.
I'll go in.
Walk in.
You guys would see this would be the first time, and you've known him long enough that Whispers actually looks nervous. I look very uncomfortable going into a cave.
Don't be afraid there, Wispy. This is where we live.
There is no sky in there. It unnerves my people to go underground.
Sometimes the top of a cave can look just as beautiful, if not more than the sky you see at night.
I don't doubt your assessment. He'll pull out his weapon and step through.
Okay, you all enter into this cavern. A torch that who's carrying that?
I'll carry it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just holding it with my tail.
With your tail, yeah. Prehensile, nice. You continue onward into this cave system, and it winds around for a while, but it seems to have these smaller offshoots that are too small for you to really go through. And you see mushrooms and fungus growing on the walls as you get to a full dead end. And it doesn't seem like there's anywhere else to go.
Is it a man-made cave? And then also, what's the size that we're in?
Make a nature check. And then I think Darius would probably also...
That's a 16.
23.
23, 16. With your combined rolls, you notice that the right side looks stranger than the rest of the stone. The rest of the stone looks natural, but that looks like close to natural, but not quite. Like there's something off about the patterning.
So has this just been a mostly a tunnel, or is it opened into larger
It's been kind of a winding tunnel that did not open up and then has a dead end. But yeah.
You said the right side?
The right side, yeah.
And the width of the tunnel?
It's stayed mostly consistent.
At what size?
Like about 15 to 20 feet.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure we're not like shoulder to shoulder.
No, you're not.
Okay.
It doesn't look like... It looks almost natural, like almost
like really
spellcast carved rather than man.
It's
carved.
You can't tell from just looking at it.
Well, it seems part of the cave is unnatural. Part of it is someone else has been here before, or something.
It might just very well be the people who built the small town that they're all living in.
Very well could be.
Alright, Shava's gonna start examining the walls.
Okay.
Yang's going to try to start putting the light up against the wall to see if anything happens.
Sure. As you begin examining the walls, moving your hands along them, you reach that point where that Darius is pointing out and your hand just goes right into the stone.
This looked like something.
Not
Shaw's hands are just gone.
That's
stone.
most definitely something. Can I do I just kind of walk through it?
You walk through it and you see the cavern, an offshoot of the cavern continuing down further.
Well, we found it.
Does the wall disappear as we realize it's there?
Oh, that's different than
it is.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not dwarven magic for sure.
You're safe over there? You
Yeah.
aren't like bleeding?
No, the cave just continues.
You all hear a loud crashing sound from behind.
Behind us?
Behind
where
you.
we came from?
Mm-hmm.
Whispers will turn around and move in front of the group with his weapon out.
Does it sound like rocks crashing? Does it sound like weapons?
It sounds like kind of splintering wood and rock crumbling. It's familiar to, you've heard landslides in your home before? Sounds a lot like that.
I knew it! I knew this was a bad idea!
Without going to check it out, my first thought is that we are now trapped inside this cave.
That is not good. That is not good at all.
Yeah, I wish you wouldn't have said that.
Isn't Vroom with us though?
Who is with us?
Who is with you guys?
We could just have
We could
Vroom.
probably have Voom smash his way out. He's reaching for it.
Have you tried it
And take
before?
that's unsure.
It seems unsure.
Yeah, he's definitely like a maybe. Well, my guess is we're gonna have to figure out the way in and out of it no matter what. Might as well finish what we came here to do first.
Yeah, because if we leave and we break it, it could just seal the whole cave off.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just keep going through weird wall-faced rock. And Shava's gonna step through it and have like the most uncomfortable look on her face.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. This isn't Dwarven.
I'll keep going.
You continue to this strange cavern, and it opens up, and you see the walls are glowing blue with this sparkling fungus. There are bits and pieces of light flashing off of it, and the pool itself is glowing a bright cyan, and you see a skeletal figure seeming to be clutching their chest, and they are turned away from you. Everyone make perception checks.
Ooh, nat 20.
Natural one.
18.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
We're running the whole thing.
12. Whispers is
Okay.
actually very... It's a big cave?
Yeah, it's not that big. It's probably only 50 feet across both ways, and it's roughly circular.
I'm very fascinated by the underground lights and everything. It is actually not appealing to me because I'm still underground, but I'm starting to get a sense of what maybe Darius meant.
I got an 18. I don't know if you're...
Yeah, 18, and then I think Yang is probably the only one who notices this.
Oh.
You see... you see
A green cloak.
You see
Swift away.
a green cloak in those small little offshoots that were up higher above. You see one, about 3 of those figures hiding out in various ones.
Are you serious?
Yes,
Oh my
and
gosh.
only you see it.
He got an 18.
Yep. I mean, that should tell you something.
Yeah, I know. Guys, they're here. They're back. Whispers, I know you know what I'm talking about.
I have seen something maybe following us, but these mushrooms are something.
Whispers, pay attention. Does the skeletal figure respond to our noise?
It is not. The pool seems relatively shallow where the skeleton is. It seems to be sitting and clutching its chest. The figures you watch as they slowly sink backwards into shadow.
You said
They're up-
there's no canopy, right? It's
No, there's no canopy. They're up in the walls, in these little holes, these divots in the walls that you saw when you were coming in. There's more of them around here, and they sink back into them.
Okay. Oh my gosh! I'm gonna prove it to you, and then just starts climbing up the wall, going towards one of those holes.
Okay,
I'm not crazy.
no.
I'm not crazy.
Are you
I'm
going
gonna
in
get
there?
stabbed. Yeah, I'm just gonna go look in one
Okay, you look in
with my
you're
my
gonna get
tail holding the
stabbed.
thing, and just kind of stick the light into it.
You stick the light in, and you see nothing there. But it does look like it curves upwards,
Okay. Ooh, interesting.
Find your mystery man, huh?
and it's on the other side. So you would have had to go around that pool to get to it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all just standing there as Yang runs off. Yeah, all right.
I mean, who's gonna catch up to him? You could try flying.
I could. I would be more interested in interacting with Frederick, though.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think after I
I
light
would
it and don't see anything, and you say your remarks, I'm gonna turn around and be like, "Yeah, there's nothing there," and then I'm gonna just see what Frederick's doing on this side.
You look, and from this side, you can see Frederick's face and eyes are glowing blue, outwardly glowing blue, the same color as the pool. But you see the kind of sparkly energy flowing from its eyes.
Can I get closer to the pool? Not touching it.
Okay.
But I want to examine it. See if there are any magical properties.
Okay, make an Arcana check.
Yeah, I think as you get closer, Yang's gonna be like, "Oh, wait! Oh, don't touch it!"
I see jack shit. I rolled a 3.
Okay, yeah, you look at it. This pool is clearly magical.
It's liquid.
Definitely. And it's liquid. You
Oh
can
my-
tell that much.
Wet water.
It is definitely magical in origin. It's not like there's some sort of bioluminescent algae or something in here.
I think before dropping down, Yang's gonna like whisper into the tunnel that he's at and be like, "I'm watching you," and he's gonna drop down to the other side of the. Yeah, and he's gonna drop down to the other side and yell out like, "Frederick, hey, we're here to bring you back. Gash was hoping you'd come back."
Whereas before, Frederick was described as being fully being mostly skeletal, this entity is entirely skeletal. And you watch Frederick's eyes start to glow, and you hear a quiet, like feminine voice almost, coming from it, the mouth not opening like you've seen with the other undead. Welcome to my pond. And then you watch as these large, magical, arcane wings, like fairy wings, shoot out from this skeleton's back, and it slowly starts to stand. I think that's where we'll end it.
Whoa. Oh God, no! I was like, oh yeah, what spells am I going to use here? That's awesome.
All right, so Frederick's been possessed, everyone.
We don't know if it's evil yet.
Possession doesn't necessarily have to be evil.
Yeah.
I really want to know what's the deal with those green people.
Well, that's a wrap. I hate to leave you on a cliffhanger, but I do have to say, next episode is going to be really crazy. So, you can tune in for episode 6 on Monday in 2 weeks. That will be May 20th. I also have some news updates. We have hit and passed 500 followers on Twitter. That's a huge milestone, and it shows that you're all interested in our little show. We can't thank you all enough. I actually feel like I say thank you too often, but that's how I feel, so. Twitter is where we do most of our social media and updates, so if you're interested in what we're up to, follow us at DiveCloudCast. That's all for today. This is Cole, signing off. That feels cheesy. Oh well, I'm keeping it in. Goodbye.
Inspiration ignites an invisible channel that opens between machine and soul.